Um, Hi guys. Yeah, yeah. So we are live as well, right? I just in case some of you don't know, I'm Anushka Aggarwal, and I've gone to AGMO twice in 29 thrice and got yeah, and I've gotten gold medal in IHO and diploma in Sharigan and Tournament of Towns. Right, so, and today we'll having this discussion for basically for girls, but also for mass Olympiad awareness. And yeah, so we'll have today's discussion will not be focusing on problems much, but for normal discussion. So if you guys have any questions or anything, you can always hit me up on chat. I'll be checking those simultaneously. Yeah. um, okay, just so you all know, 15th October is the last day for IOQM registration. So, if in any case, any of you has missed it, you all should register for it. It will give you a broader horizon to, for mathematics and everything, Olympiad. Okay, so anybody wants to ask any questions or something? I'm in 12th grade, right? Currently, Angit Pratap Singh. So, let's just for right now, let's go over the Olympia stages which are there. So earlier it used to be pre-armor, but currently they have been doing IUQM for the past 1 year and this year as well. After IUQM, they usually have INMO, in which IUQM they select like 300 students from each place, and from INMO they have 30 students for juniors. Yeah, and and there's always g- girls reservation for them. I guess this girls reservation there because there's not much awareness about it, like not many girls are preparing for it. So yeah, I will that's why we are over here, because I would love for girls to have more representation over there. uh, oh, I'm not audible in live. Give me a sec. Oh, okay, it's audible actually. Okay, yeah. For me, my strongest topic is geometry, and one of my favorites as well. Eh, yeah. Um. Oh, cool. Yeah. So I guess let's do some problems if you all don't have any questions for now. I'm not an IT. I'm still in 12th. Uh, the resources I have used to start with geometry are Chance and Thrills of Pre-College Geometry, and there's a book by H. Coxter, which is pretty good for it for theory-wise. For problems after Chance and Thrills of Pre-College Geometry, you can try to move on to Evanson's book, Euclidean Geometry in Mathematical Olympiad. There's not really anything syllabus for pre-RMO, or so that you can know about it. You should just try to enjoy whatever problems you're doing in that and just go with the flow where it takes. um yeah, so I mean, um there's Yes, I you don't really you don't really prepare Olympiads just for like pre- cracking them or anything. You just try to do the problems and they just happen on their own. Like I don't want to sound philosophical, but that's true. Yeah. Okay. So just in case, yeah. Okay. So let's just discuss some problems, I guess then. Um,
Hi, Anushka.
Hi, Simran.
Okay. Um, Sorry, I got a little bit late today actually, due to some connection issue. Okay. So, Anushka, can you first introduce yourself by telling all the exams that you have prepared so that all the students will
Could you
have
please
an idea?
repeat once? Sorry.
Sorry.
Could you please repeat? I couldn't hear you. Your voice was not clear.
I think there are two voices. What to say? Can you hear
Can
me
you hear me
properly now?
properly now? It's equal. Yeah, just give us a second. There's some issue going on. Trying to figure it out.
Mm. Uh, am I audible to you?
It's equal.
Okay. So, Anushka, can you tell us about the exams that you have cracked and what are the strategies that you took? First, please describe the exams.
Just equal.
Anushka, is the voice okay now? No. Okay.
Why are we not starting? I'm not understanding this. Is there an issue with Simran's voice? Okay, so thank you, Anushka, for joining. So those of you who are waiting eagerly to hear her, I am just talking with Anushka Aggarwal. She is one of the star alumni of Cheenta. Thank you for joining today, Anushka. Anushka, could you tell us a little bit about your experience in EGMO?
Thank you, sir. I guess EGMO was a very. It's equaling now.
Yeah, please continue,
Yeah.
Anushka. Thank you.
So I guess AGM was a very unique experience for me. Like getting selected to represent the country and then just going over there and being the chosen ones for to represent the country, and it's just a very unique experience because when you're writing the exam, it's like you're not just writing the exam for yourself, you're writing the exam for the country. um so yeah, that was there, and over there it's not just about writing the exam or anything. There's so many different things. You get to meet different people, different uh, professors and peers, and you just interact with them and you grow so much. um, yeah, and of course there's a lot of fun going for sightseeing and playing, and all that stuff is always there. So it's overall extremely amazing experience overall. Yeah.
So where did you go for this?
I
Where
went
did
to
you have to
Ukraine.
travel, and which class did you go for this?
I had just completed my ninth grade, and it was in Ukraine, 2019.
In the Ukraine? Did you
Yeah.
say Ukraine? Oh, okay. So did you fly to Ukraine for this?
Yeah, we did fly for Ukraine for this.
Awesome. So why don't you tell me a little bit about the format of that exam? Is that also the full form? Because I'm sure many people do not know about this. So can you tell us a little bit more about the topics and the full form of it?
Yeah, sure. If Europe EGM stands for European Girls Mathematics Olympiad. It's and its pattern is just like IMO, for three problems each, 4.5 hours for 2 days. Yeah. So for EGM, it's mostly like you qualify INMO, and then from INMO you have TS. After INMO, you have TSCs in the training camp, IMOTC, and from there they choose top four girls. Yeah. So
I see. Okay. So hello, can you still hear me?
yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. So we are assembled here today to understand a little bit about geometry problem solving skills from Anushka. So I will ask her to talk a little bit about that. Maybe you can pick up some specific problems. We want to continue doing this for the next few months in
Yeah.
our Center for Mathematics for Girl Children. And Anushka is our one of our chief mentors. We want women to get represented more in the field of mathematical science, and that is the core idea and the core goal behind this center. So, Anushka, could you tell us a little bit about geometry problems and problem solving skills and so on and so forth? Maybe you can pick up some specific specimen problems and tell us a little bit about how to solve great geometry problems. And also, you can speak about some books, great books on geometry.
Yeah, sure. So geometry is, of course, my favorite, and I guess according to me, my strongest Olympiad topic. So yeah, I also for the different Olympiads which I also took for geometry specifically. Sharigan Geometry Olympiad, which is in Russia, and Iranian Geometry Olympiad, in which I also got a gold. For geometry, for me it's more like when you see a problem, you of course have to draw the diagram first neatly, a big one, a chord with a scale and a pencil and a compass, all that stuff, and after that only like you can see what's happening in the figure and in the problem overall. And when once you see what's going on, you can actually try to proceed from there. Otherwise it's not that easy to proceed in a geometry problem. S- uh, yeah. And uh, so for different problems we have different. In Olympiad, geometry is not something in which there's a lot of theory or something. You usually just have to look at the problem and apply um, apply those concepts which you already know. And it's uh, all about the visualization and everything in geometry according to me. um, yeah. And as for books for which I did for geometry in earlier classes, I start with Challenges and Thrills of Pre-College Mathematics. In that geometry, there are two chapters for geometry. They are written very nicely, and all those problems are very good. And after that, it's like you can try to do previous year problems for RMO or INMO or pre-RMO and other international Olympiads if you wish to. And over that, there's Evanson's book Euclidean Geometry and Mathematical Olympiad, which is absolutely beautifully written, which is beautifully written because it's one of my favorite books in geometry. So yeah, doing that book is really fun. um, and sometimes in geometry you'll be like sometimes you just get stuck. And so you just have to, I guess, go on about it and not get demotivated if you're stuck in some problems, because they're not easy. They're not easy at all. So it's like fine if you're doing the some problems for weeks even, which I have done and still do. Yeah, I guess that's that.
So, is there any specific geometry problem that you can tell us a little bit more about that can be used as an example?
um as of now, offhandedly, there's no such problem. But uh,
Maybe you can share a whiteboard, Anushka,
yeah,
and explain it to us.
yeah, sure. I'll just share Jamboard. Give me a moment. Yes, is my whiteboard visible to everyone?
No, ma'am, not yet.
Is it? Okay, so is it visible on the live? Because I'm not sure if it is.
No, it's not.
Oh,
Yeah, actually, it's not visible for me.
I'll just okay. So I'm not sure how to, share it on Google.
Ishka, yeah, you can share your screen
Yeah, I
on the Google.
did. I guess it's visible now over there.
Anushka, if you don't share the screen, people in YouTube cannot see it.
I guess I shared.
Uh, is it a Jamboard that is there?
It's a Jamboard.
You have to click on present now and then you have to share the screen that you.
People are saying that it's visible on.
It's is it visible on the shared screen?
No, not on the shared screen on the other building.
Can anyone confirm? Is Anushka's board visible?
No,
Is
it's
it?
visible on, it's not visible on Google Meet, but it's visible on the YouTube. I
Oh,
think you shared it on screen.
Is it? It is not visible, Anushka, in the Google Meet.
okay. So I'm sharing the jam board over here.
You don't have to share the Jamboard. Just go to Google Meet,
Present.
click on Share Now or Present Now,
I'll
and
do it
then
again.
and
Um, um, is it visible now on Google Meet?
No. Anushka, click on the Present Now button in the Google Meet and then
Um,
in, select the window or the entire Google Meet. I
I
think you can select the window.
I don't know how to fix. One
Uh,
second.
okay, there is an option, the third last option says Present Now in Google Meet.
Is it visible now? It shows that the whiteboard is visible. Jamboard is visible. It's like somebody joined as well. Like there's this link. Is the board visible on both the places now? I guess it should be.
It's not visible as a shared screen in the meeting, but then I can see it like from the link.
Yeah, so I guess that works too, right?
Can you see the icons present downside? For example, there's this leaf call icon, a hand symbol, then the microphone video. Can you see those
Anushka,
icons?
Anushka,
Yeah,
come to Google Meet
yeah,
and then present now from there.
yeah. Okay. Okay, got it.
Yeah,
Is this fine now for both the places?
yeah.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So yeah, so is this problem? This is 2020 ISL
yeah,
G1.
thanks. It's visible now. Okay.
Okay, it's getting bad handwriting. Just a second. So it's a really recent problem in IMO shortness, like just this previous year only. But the ideas involving this were not something very complex or something you don't know. So let's discuss that problem and see how it goes. So you basically have an isosceles triangle in this problem, ABC, and BC is equals to C. BC equals to C is given over here,
Okay.
and you have a point D on the inside over here, D point, sorry, inside on the side AB, somewhere over here, such that DA is less than DB, so like over here. Okay, and you have points P and Q on BC and CA such that angle DPB equals to 90 and DQA is also 90. Now you take the perpendicular bisector of PQ, and that me intersects CQ at E, which in turn, and let's take the so some, I'm not marking CQ E right now, but I'll later on. And from here we have circumcircles of ABC and CPQ intersecting, ABC intersecting CPQ. just given as f, and of course different from c not equals to c. What we had to prove is, and PEF collinear given. What we had to prove though is angle ABC equals to 90 degrees. Right? So I guess you all can try the problem for a few minutes and then we'll discuss and also complete the diagram properly till then.
Can you repeat the question after bisector of PQ, if you don't mind?
Yeah, sure. Perpendicular bisect of PQ intersects CQ at E. So we have the perpendicular bisect over here and let that meet CQ at E. Alright, and we have circumcircle of ABC and CPQ intersecting at F, and PEF are given as collinear. So it's like this, and this point is F. Alright, we had to prove that angle ABC is 90 degrees. This angle.
Yes, thank you.
Alright. I'm sorry, over here. This angle won't be 90, this can be 90, it's an isosceles triangle. This angle will be 90, my bad. So basically, this should be an isosceles right angle triangle. That's what we have to prove. So I guess yeah, all of you got a few minutes to check out the problem. So the goal over here is not to solve it on your own, because but it's to see that you can solve it, right? Because the ideas involving it are not complex, just something which you have to work on and see on your own. So let's see how it can solve this problem. So the diagram was on the earlier page, so let me just draw it again. um, you have um, let me draw it to scale now. So yeah, A, C, B, and you have B, C, C, S. D is some point over here, and you draw perpendiculars. Draw the edge. You have a perpendicular bisector over here, and let these points be. Yeah, this point is this is the perpendicular bisector. It's on AC, BC is on P, and AC is on Q. Yeah. So CQ meet E. This is some point E, and this means and some point as PEF is given as straight line. So this point will be F, and F will have CPQF concyclic. Alright, so let's start with this problem over here. Let's take some midpoint M of AB, and we'll prove that let M be the midpoint of AB. And we'll prove that M will lie on the perpendicular bisector of PQ, alright? So basically, whenever you have a perpendicular bisector, you need to prove that some point and you have to prove it lies on the perpendicular bisector. It's a fair guess to know, like To prove to guess that, we need to prove something like mq equals to mp, because sides, otherwise how else would you prove it, right? So we'll try to prove that mq equals to mp. All right, so now see, since m is the midpoint of AB and we have that AC equals to CB, we'll have something like CM is perpendicular to AB, right? Now you can see many concyclicities over here. CQDM, because these two angles are 90, this angle and this angle, and there's something over here. It's P, sorry, uh, uh, yeah, there's also PCDM because angle DPC and DMC are 90. All right, now you see that DMC and DMC, all three are common over here. So you'll have PQDMC concyclic, right? Because 3 points have a unique circumcircle, so all the points lying on that circumcircle will lie on that one circle. All right, so yeah, it will lie on this. And so can you say that CM bisects angle ACB, because obviously this is an isosceles triangle. CM will be the angle bisector, perpendicular bisector, median, altitude, all three for this AB and angle ACB. So angle, you can say angle BCM equals to angle BCM equals to angle ACM, right? So yeah, angle BCM is equals to this, and it also bisects angle uh, QCP, right? So it and CM bisects angle QCP, and from here you can get that MQ equals to MP because of the concyclicity, right? These two angles are equal, and Q's MPCR is a cyclic quadrilateral from here, QMPC, and these two angles are equal. So equal chords subtend equal angles in the circumference. So you'll have that MP equals to MQ. So M lies on the perpendicular bisect. I hope till here it's clear, right? There's nothing which we don't know. Yeah. So let me, that is the first step for the problem, like first thing which you want to prove, or that gets you closer to solving the problem. So, and the second claim which I'll be making is that this line, this perpendicular bisector, which has E and M, will also be the perpendicular bisector of CF, right? So to prove something like that, if we have CF parallel to PQ, or yeah, if CF is parallel to PQ, we'll have that CFPQ is a concyclic quadrilateral, and opposite sides are parallel, so it's isosceles trapezium, right? Um, if two sides are parallel and it's a cyclic, then you can prove that it's a isosceles trapezium, because theta 180 minus theta, and this angle will again be theta because of the concyclicity. So these two will be equal and it will become an isosceles trapezium. Alright, and yeah, so if we prove the isosceles trapezium thing, then we'll have that this perpendicular bisector will also be the perpendicular bisector of CF. Alright, so to prove that it's parallel, we'll want to prove something like angle CQP equals to angle, let me choose another color over here, something like this angle equals to angles. The diagram is not that good, so let's just assume that it's not the arc of the circle itself. Angle ACF, or you can say QCF or something like that. All right. So if you prove that the CQP equals to this angle, QCF, then will be done. And you can say QCF is equals to QPF because of the concyclicity, right? Both subtended by the QF arc. And since these two are equal, You know that these two are equal because EQ equals to EP, perpendicular bisector, right? So these two will be equal and you are done, because that will mean this is parallel to this. Yeah. So that will also imply that if this is perpendicular bisector of PQ, it is also the perpendicular bisector of CF, because it's perpendicular to this, it will be perpendicular to this, and these two, this will be an isosceles trapezium. Alright. So yeah, if you prove that these two is also this isosceles trapezium, from here it's only one step, and I guess you should try it for a minute or so, and then I'll tell you. These are like a lot of steps, but none of these steps involve some complex idea. Yes, exactly. M will be the circumcenter of this, because um, it's perpendicular bisector of two chords basically. Yeah, so if um, AB and CF, it will be the perpendicular bisector of two chords. M lies on the perpendicular bisector of two chords of a circle ABCF. So that will become the circumcenter of triangle ABC. And we know that if the circumcenter of a triangle lies on a side, then that is a right angle triangle, right? Because AB will become a diameter and ACB will be 90 and will be done. Yeah. So let me just go over the problem once again, because I know this involved a lot of steps, but yeah. So let's see. First, what we did was prove. Let me change another color. First, what we tried to prove, we first took M as the midpoint of AB some point, and the idea behind taking M was mostly because we have a perpendicular bisector. We need to prove that angle ACB is 90 degree. We saw the circumcircle. So we tried to show that this will be the circumcenter. All right, and also you're given that DA is less than DB, so it was something like at the midpoint something will be happening, because after midpoint it will become DA greater than DB. Yeah. So I took the midpoint. From there I tried to prove that it lies on the perpendicular bisector, because when you draw the diagram with all the pencil pen paper stuff, you'll see that something like that you can see in your diagram. The M will lie on this perpendicular bisector. And if you see reverse in a reverse way, that this is an isosceles right angle triangle, from also you can see that M should lie. So if it should lie, then you, assuming the problem is true, you will have to prove that. All right. So from there we did the angle chasing. We proved CQDMP is concyclic over here, and therefrom we did we prove these two angles are equal, and so the chords will be equal and will lie. All right. After proving M will lie on the perpendicular bisector, we prove that the perpendicular bisector also the angle by perpendicular bisector CF, so that M lies on the perpendicular bisector of two chords. Yeah. And when a point lies on the perpendicular bisector of two chords of a circle, it is basically the circumcenter, and that will complete the problem. So yeah, so that was the basic idea behind this whole problem. Two major things: checking the concyclicity and the isosceles trapezium points. All right. So as I said, the problem was not, didn't have any fancy ideas or something. It was just about applying the ideas you already knew. And for that, you'll obviously need practice and everything. You'll have to draw clean diagrams, and just go spend time on it, see how it is going, and not just get demotivated. Just keep on doing it. Yeah. So yeah, that was the problem. So something you guys want to ask about the problem or anything, I'll check the comments now. Somebody's asking for the town in Sharigan Olympiad. So it's just whichever city you're from. um, Yeah. So just in case anybody wants to ask something else, or we can do another problem.
If anyone has any question regarding whatever whatever Anushka has done or regarding geometry, they can ask their questions to Anushka. Anyone in the classroom?
Hello, Anushka. I have a question.
Yeah, sure, sir.
Okay. So, thank you for that wonderful explanation. So, can you tell me a little bit about some books on geometry that I know that you suggested something at the beginning, but maybe you can tell us a little bit more about some of the books that we can follow.
Yeah, sure. So, yeah, as I said earlier, there's Charles and Thrills. There are two chapters in that. EGM is an awesome book. There's one more book, Lemmas in Olympiad Geometry, which is by Tito Andrescu. It's a little tougher than Evangel's book, and like it goes for in more and beyond. So you can try that book if you feel like you're confident geometry. Of course, you can try previous problems, which are pretty good. And yeah, so there's that. And you can try to mm, um, there's this basic book, Challenging Problems in Geometry, and it's some Russian author's book. I don't remember the name properly. It has a geometry diagram in front. It's a purple greenish cover book. It's a really good book. I guess I'll check it once. It has basic problems for all the basic topics. So if you don't want to do chance and skills of pre-college geometry, you can try that book. It is pretty complete about it in itself. Um,
Awesome. I think Jasmita has asked a question that how can we actually get the names of these books? So to answer that question, Jasmita, we will ask Anushka about the precise names and the authors, and we will publish the name of the books later in our webpage of Center for Mathematics for Girls students. Keep an eye on that. We'll send out an email to you guys as well. So
Alright, sure, thank you.
yeah, remember that if you want to be part of this initiative where you are, so this is free for everyone because it is being broadcasted on YouTube. Our main goal is to inspire all children, but especially girl students, to do exciting mathematics and help them to visualize other role models like Anushka who have done so well in mathematical science and who want to study great mathematics and awesome research centers in the world, which is, I think, will happen very soon. And so it's a great opportunity. You can also tell your friends if you find a friend who will be interested in mathematics, they can follow this page. We will also create a Facebook page for this and build a group around this so that we can all stay in touch. We will also ask other people to join as mentors and mentees in this process. So we'll update you on that. If you have any more questions, feel free to ask Anushka. And not only questions about geometry, about preparation for mathematics Olympiad in general, or anything that you think, any idea, any question that you have in mind in random, like something related to studies or something related to the stuff that she did, or maybe any preparation or anything. I'll open the floor for questions. If you have any questions, please raise your hand and I think Simran can moderate and.
Yeah, there are some questions actually by Olivia. Olivia is asking that can you please tell me more about the Iranian geometry?
yeah, sure. So I'm not sure if India has been conducting Iranian Geometry Olympiad for like this year and the previous year because of COVID, most probably. But like Iranian Geometry Olympiad has three you know
Stages.
not stages, but like three different levels. Like first,
Okay.
there's for different grades. So there's basic, which there's intermediate, and there's advanced. So advanced is for ninth and 10th grade, and before that is basic one, 6th, 7th, 8th, I guess. So it has like five geometry problems, space pure geometry, and it has 4.5 hours. So it is a really fun Olympiad, because those problem which you see in Iranian geometry Olympiad, they're very, different and refreshing. So even if you're not able to appear, you should all check those problems out. They're pretty good. One of my favorite geometry Olympiads. Yeah. So for appearing in that, you should check out the IAPTA website because it has the details about it. um, how to
Okay.
prepare for it, you should, just it's nothing special to prepare for. Just do Olympiad geometry, that's what they're going to ask only. So yeah, as I said, do the books which are recommended, or previous year problems and all that only.
Okay, there is one question from Shreya Boruganti. She is asking about when did you start your preparation for these exams, EGMO and other competitive exams?
Okay, so I started my preparation for mathematics Olympiad pretty early, like sixth, seventh grade mostly. Sixth grade was not so serious, and in seventh I joined Cheenta when I started to, do it all seriously. And so yeah, it was that's when I started mostly. And as I told you, the I started with the chances of pre-college mathematics in Olympiad. That book is pretty good. So that's how I started.
Okay, thanks, Anushka. And there is one question regarding your planning of pursuing for pure mathematics.
I do plan to pursue pure mathematics in the future, but I have not thought much about. I'll go to college and see from where it goes. I would like to explore more options and other subjects as well.
Okay. So there is one question by Vaishnavi. She's asking, we will have more classes like this. Yes, we will be having more classes like this, and students will be invited. Okay, any more questions? I think we can take some questions from the live session as well.
Yeah.
Uh,
So
yeah.
many
So
people
Dadan
ask
is
me.
asking,
Yeah.
in which class you are presently?
I'm presently in my 12th standard.
Okay. Yeah. So this question might require some strategies. I don't know. So how to score 60 plus marks in IOQM 2022?
I have personally not taken IOQM and pre-arm also, like all 4 years back or so. So I actually don't know what tips to give you about it or anything like that. But I guess you should try not to, do many silly errors, because it's just an objective exam. And do not try to, prepare for IOQM or pre-RMO specifically. Just go so just do the problems in Olympiads, and you'll work. That will work out.
Great. So there is a student from class 5 and want to know some books that can help him to prepare for these exams. So do you recommend some books for class 5 students that can be helpful for them?
As for class 5, I don't think there are any Olympiad books you should start with, but you can, try to do higher class books, 6th, 7th, 8th, and so on.
Okay. So there is one more question. Um, how one tests themselves that if they are good in geometry or not?
I don't think there's any way you can test if you're good in geometry. It's your personal best or how you feel about geometry. So yeah, so that's that. You should, just do not see if you're good or bad. Don't compare yourself. Just go with the flow. See what's
Yeah,
your
I think they can
personal
take
best.
some tests
Compare
and
yourself.
test it.
What? Sorry, I could not hear you.
I think they can. take some mock tests or something like that.
Yeah,
And
you
test
can
it.
try to take mock tests and do Olympiad problems and see if you're able to do them or not.
Okay, so one student is asking that he is unable to solve INMO problems. So how he can do that? He want to clear that.
About INMO problems, if you're not able to solve them, it's not really a big deal because they're really tough. So you should maybe try some easier problems and then move on to INMO problems. It's like do not try to do tough problems directly. Try to do it like building the blocks. First take small steps and then like that.
So there is one question that is asked repeatedly, that which college are you going to join?
I have not really decided which college I'm going to join. I'm applying to a few and then I'll see uh, how it goes about it. I have not currently opted any college. I'm still in 12th.
Okay. So are there any questions from this classroom? You can just unmute yourself and ask. Okay, I think there are no more questions.
Yeah.
I have a query that yeah, there are. Yeah, go ahead. I can solve geometry problems from INMO, but my problem is that when in IOQM problems or some PRMO problems, the calculation gets large. I cannot solve them. So I have problem with IOQM geometry and not with INMO geometry. That's the weird problem, but it's happening to me.
I understand. So there's not really anything you can do about it, but practice IOQM or pre-armo problems. So like time them and try to do them. If there's calculation, there's nothing you can do to avoid that. You have to just do it.
Okay, there are some questions. There is question from Jasmita. She's asking, if you're planning to pursue pure maths, then what are you planning to do as an occupation?
I have not thought about it, like not so far. Right.
Yes, like even I hadn't if ever thought about it. I was always like, I'll go for pure maths and that's that. But now, my parents, they are telling me that they're asking me what I'm planning to do after PhD. Like after I've completed my PhD, what will I do after that? So I don't know.
I don't really know what to say because I haven't really thought about
Alright,
that far.
alright, it's fine.
Yeah.
Alright, it's fine. Thank you.
Oh, welcome.
I think, Jasmita, you can just think about right now what you're going to do and what is the nearest exam that you want to focus on, and just get
Yes,
your
ma'am. But my parents are telling me that I need a means to survive, like a source of money. So later on in my life, so they are asking me.
Yeah, no,
Because they are like the only option available if I go for pure maths is teaching, I believe, or research work. So other than that, I don't know.
Yeah, so if you are interested, you can of course do that.
Yes, I am interested, but I mean, he called some professors of mathematics, and he is close friends with them, and they told him how the job opportunities for teachers are so less. How colleges are keeping the older teachers and not recruiting new teachers because of experience issues and all that. So I don't know.
Okay, Jasmita, so you need to always answer that the outstanding people always get an opportunity everywhere, and also
All
the
right.
hardworking people.
All right.
Okay, so
Thank you,
stay
ma'am.
outstanding and just focus on being outstanding and hardworking. I say
Yes,
that will work.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Actually, today only, and this professor told him how there were two of his students. He teaches in Delhi University. There were two of his students who were brilliant students, and they did PhD, and but they did PhD, and now they are how they haven't got any jobs for like 10 years. So, well, I have no answer to that. For BSc, of course, I will go for maths, but I don't know.
Just
Jasmita, just have believe in yourself, okay?
Yes,
Don't worry for others. Okay?
yes, ma'am.
Okay, there is a question from Anandi. What got you interested in geometry specifically rather than other topics like probability or calculus?
I think what made geometry my favorite was that was the first topic I started in Olympiads, and also the basic, in school also we do some geometry in congruence and stuff. So that just had me curious and making the diagrams and everything. I always fancied making them, sitting with a pen, a pencil and compass and all that. So I guess that's where my interest started, and then when I started doing it more, I started liking it even better. And what I also love about geometry is there's not much, complex theory and stuff like that. You just need to know the basics, and then the application of the basics is there. So yeah.
So, yeah, there is one question that says, how to strengthen my geometry skills.
I guess you can, try to do various problems and not, instead of obviously try the problems as long as you can, and just try to take hints instead of seeing the solutions. um yeah, so you should, try to solve the as many problems as you can. Try to do them, try to not see solutions, and instead take hints if you're not able to solve the problem. So you should know at what point of time you should, see the hint, take a hint, and not just sit on a problem endlessly, because sometimes that does not do you much good. Yeah.
Okay, so there are questions for books that we mentioned that we will put those books. We'll collect books from Anushka, the names of the books, and then we'll put it on a web page. So you will get all the books recommended by Anushka in a web page, and we will notify you through this YouTube channel. Okay. So I hope the doubts regarding book is fine. And there is a one comment, a very good comment that says that this is a very good initiative for the girls, and and this person is really glad about bringing this sessions to on YouTube.
Thank you very much
Okay.
for the comment.
I had a query that sometimes when I try hard IMO problems and like that, I sometimes naturally get stuck on problems, and sometimes end up doing only one or two problems in a day. So is that good, or should I move to another problem after trying for 1 hour?
I think I would recommend, if you're stuck on a problem, try to move on to the next one, because spend if unless you're making some progress, otherwise just sitting with the problem might not do you as good as, just taking a hint or moving on to other problem would. either you can move on to the other problem and then go back to the previous one which you were stuck on. So you can get a different perspective, because sometimes when you're thinking about the problem monotonously, continuously for a really long period of time, you tend to go in one direction only. You only have one type of thoughts, it gets monotonous. So yeah. And also try not to judge your productivity by how many problems you did, because sometimes the Olympians will spend hours on a problem, you will just not get it. So you cannot say that you wasted that time. You was thinking about a problem, and that is going to count in your growth. I guess that answers your question, Shreya.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Okay, so I think there are no more questions now, but I'll leave you, Anushka, with the last question that I have in my mind.
Sure.
Okay, so what was the most difficult exam that you faced, that you think that was difficult to you? Okay, that you faced, and so was there any anxiety you faced, and how did you overcome it?
I guess there's always anxiety when you're going to take an important exam, but for me, it never overwhelmed me or anything, because I always thought that this is an opportunity that have been given, right? So I have come so far, so it's not something small. So even if I'm not able to perform or anything like that, this is still awesome no matter what. So there's no need to be harsh on myself. So I always went with a clear mind that it's okay no matter what happens. It is not defining you or anything like that. So yeah, but everybody has different ways to overcome with anxiety. So
Okay.
yeah.
So let's there is one more question asking to prepare the, like, how did you prepare for INMO? And
Um,
like this, the student is in class 10 and wants to prepare for INMO. So any tips for him?
I don't think there's like any difference in preparing in 10th grade or any other grade. It's just in 10th you get your boards as well. You have to focus, no matter what, you have to focus on them as well. So it's just about time management. Try to, not put a lot of like not keep push preparation for boards till the end, because at that time you'll have INMO as well, and then you have to prepare for boards as well. So take it slowly both ways, like do an hour or so for boards over the year, and then in the end you won't be that burdened with it. Yeah. Otherwise the preparation in 8th grade or 9th grade, 10th grade, 11th grade, it's just the same according to me.
Yeah, I think all the doubts of all the students for today is over, and we will meet all of you in the next session. So I think all the girls that are present here, they had a good session, and for the next session, be ready, and you can also tell us what is the next topic that you are expecting, so that we can come up with that topic. Okay. So for now, I think we can close the session. Bid you all goodbye.
Thank you all for joining. Goodbye.
Yeah, thank you for joining.